The team of paranormal investigators arrived at the long-abandoned Blackridge Asylum as the sun dipped behind the hills, casting dark shadows across its cracked facade. The air was thick with decay and a cold, unnatural chill that seemed to seep into their bones. Inside, peeling walls and broken furniture painted a haunting picture of decades of neglect. As they walked the deserted hallways, faint whispers drifted through the corridors, echoing from nowhere. The sound of distant footsteps made their hearts race, though no one else was present. Old medical charts and rusted instruments lay scattered, hinting at the inhumane experiments that had once taken place within these walls. Each creak of the floorboards felt amplified. Every shadow seemed alive. The team set up cameras and sensors, but the atmosphere grew heavier by the minute. Something in the asylum was aware of their presence, and it was waiting patiently for the darkness to consume them. During a basement inspection, one investigator stepped through a doorway and never returned. Panic gripped the others as their shouts echoed unanswered through the cold, damp air. The flashlight beams flickered, revealing journals documenting cruel experiments performed on patients decades ago, detailing suffering in disturbing detail. Suddenly, a heavy wind slammed the doors shut, making it impossible to escape. The shadows around them stretched unnaturally, twisting into grotesque shapes that seemed to leer and whisper threats. Every hallway seemed to shift, confusing their sense of direction, and the oppressive air made breathing difficult. They tried to contact the missing member, but only silence responded. Cameras captured fleeting glimpses of dark figures moving just beyond their vision. Each step deeper into the asylum heightened a creeping sense of dread, and they realized that whatever haunted this place fed on fear. There was no turning back, and every moment spent inside increased the risk of vanishing without a trace. Exploring further, the team discovered hidden tunnels beneath the asylum, passages long forgotten and layered in dust and cobwebs. The walls were etched with ancient symbols that suggested dark rituals performed to bind restless spirits. Their flashlights barely penetrated the darkness, and strange echoes bounced unpredictably, making them question whether the sound were theirs or something else's. As they advanced, each member began experiencing terrifying hallucinations, personal fears and memories manifesting around them in vivid, horrifying detail. One camera recorded a ghostly figure dragging a chained patient through the shadows, then disappearing into the stone walls. Panic and confusion spread as whispers turned into unintelligible screams. Every corner revealed a new, surreal horror, and the tunnels themselves seemed to pulse with life, guiding the investigators toward danger. Fear became tangible, almost suffocating, and the team realized that the deeper they went, the closer they were to being trapped forever in the asylum's dark embrace. That a spirit finally made contact, its voice weak but desperate, pleading for release. It claimed to have been a patient tortured during the asylum's dark experiments and warned that the building consumed fear, feeding on the minds of anyone trapped inside. The investigators attempted to communicate using EVP devices, recording chilling messages, screams, and whispers calling their names from every direction. Suddenly, one member's eyes rolled back as an unseen force possessed them, their voice twisting into something not human. The others struggled to restrain their friend, unsure if they could survive the encounter. Objects levitated, doors slammed, and shadows stretched toward them, almost suffocating in their intensity. The atmosphere thickened, making the team aware that the asylum itself was alive, intelligent, and malevolent. Every step felt like a trap. Every turn promised terror, and the remaining investigators realized that freeing the trapped souls and escaping themselves would require confronting horrors beyond imagination. Deeper exploration revealed a sealed wing, untouched for decades, where the asylum's most twisted experiments were documented. Medical records revealed the cruel and unethical methods used to study the mind after death, including sensory deprivation and extreme isolation. Apparitions of former patients replayed their final, agonizing moments, silently screaming for release. The air was thick with a metallic stench, and the walls seemed to bleed a dark, viscous substance as shadows slithered along every surface. Panic became near hysteria as the team struggled to navigate the wing, encountering distorted, nightmarish figures at every turn. Every room seemed to shift, trapping them in labyrinthine hallways that twisted reality. Fear became almost physical, gnawing at their minds. They understood that the asylum was not just haunted. It was a predator, thriving on terror and despair, using illusions and hallucinations to trap anyone who dared enter its sinister depths in a desperate bid to escape. The investigators tried to retrace their steps to the main exit, but the asylum resisted. Hallways looped endlessly, staircases collapsed into black voids, and shadows lurked in every corner, growing stronger with each heartbeat. Each member confronted vivid visions of their darkest fears, memories warped into terrifying forms. One was dragged into the darkness and vanished without a trace, leaving only echoes behind. Only two remained, pushing forward with trembling hands and pounding hearts, driven by the hope of survival. The building seemed to anticipate every movement, warping reality and testing their courage. Fear became both their weapon and their prison, challenging their resolve. Every sound, every shadow, every flicker of light reminded them that the asylum was alive, sentient, and merciless, and leaving without paying its price was impossible. The survivors stumbled upon a ritual chamber hidden deep underground. The walls were inscribed with the names of everyone who had disappeared in the asylum over the past 50 years. A forgotten diary revealed that a caretaker had attempted to free the trapped souls, only to fail and join them eternally. The asylum's essence fed on fear, drawing power from the torment of lost spirits. The investigators realized that performing a counter-ritual was their only chance of escape, yet doing so required facing their worst nightmares head-on. Shadows twisted into horrific forms, objects flew across the room, and disembodied voices screamed incessantly. Every action felt critical, every mistake potentially fatal. The air was electric with supernatural energy, and each second became a struggle between courage and terror. They understood that survival meant more than just escaping. It meant confronting the evil that had consumed the asylum for decades. As the final confrontation unfolded, the surviving investigators chanted incantations from the diary, summoning the courage to challenge the asylum itself. Phantoms attacked relentlessly, shrieking and clawing at reality. One sacrificed themselves to complete the ritual, vanishing in a flash of blinding light. Slowly, the building fell silent. Shadows faded, and the oppressive weight lifted. The remaining investigator emerged, physically unharmed but psychologically scarred, clutching evidence of the horrors witnessed. The sun rose, casting the asylum in pale light, revealing its broken, decaying form. Yet as they turned to leave, a subtle shadow moved behind them, hinting that the nightmare was far from over. The sense of dread lingered, a chilling reminder that the asylum's secrets were never truly gone, and some doors, once opened, can never be fully closed.